Nutrition, Chapter 1. In 400 BC, the Greek physician Hippocrates declared,
Oh,
"Let thy food be thy medicine, and thy medicine be thy food."
mm-hmm.
The ancient father of medicine had begun to realize a person's health is greatly impacted by their food, and it could be used to prevent disease and maintain wellness. Over time, simple observations have led to many scientific discoveries and declarations regarding nutrition, nutrients, and how the body turns food on a plate into energy for life. In 1747, Dr. James Lind of the British Navy discovered scurvy in sailors who were only fed bread and meat.
Mm-hmm.
His experiments with items such as salt water, citrus fruit, and vinegar allowed him to find evidence that citrus prevented the disease, even though vitamin C wasn't discovered until 1912
That's what you gotta remember, those and dates.
and not chemically produced until the
The
1930s.
good thing is we have those two screens, so what we can do is put everything on one screen when we do the exam.
Yep.
That's what I do for the other stuff.
Figure 1.1. Dutch sailors died of scurvy, illustrated in the Lettre de Monde Travel Journal of 1865. In the 1770s, Antoine Lavoisier used his knowledge of chemistry to develop the concept of the body's metabolism without knowledge of elements such as carbon, nitrogen, and hydrogen, which weren't discovered until the 1800s. Vitamins and their importance in health and wellness were discovered in the early 1900s by European doctors. The research and scientific discoveries in the field of dietetics and nutrition continue to this day. With the introduction of the nutrition field in the late 19th century, nutrition experts have been employed in hospitals to monitor troops, schools, to ensure balanced meals for youth, and as a major aspect of the fitness and general health studies industries. Pursuing the education needed to successfully coach clients for health and fitness goals and improve overall well-being requires attention to detail and discussion of many topics, as awareness of how nutrition affects the health of each individual grows. The economic and demographic status, life stage, and energy requirements must all be considered. Topics like human energy systems, the digestive system, metabolism, and the human cell are critical for a nutrition coach to understand.
Sight, smell.
How humans select food. The appeal of food goes beyond the need for energy and nutrients. Humans select food based on their senses: sight, smell, taste, and feel. Sight. The eye provides the first impression of food, such as the shape, color, shine, texture, size, and presence of defects. A human can discern information from what they see, like how ripe a fruit is, or if it has been heated or burned. The color of foods contributes to their appeal to the consumer as well. Smell. The human olfactory system can discern between 2,000 and 4,000 different smells, with highly sensitive people being able to distinguish up to 10,000 different odors. The nose detects the volatile molecules of food, which are generated from the application of heat. Therefore, it is far easier to smell warm foods than cold ones. Olfactory system. The organ system used for smelling. So this is like the terminology. Volatile molecules. Small vaporized particles. Taste. The perception stimulated when a substance in the mouth reacts chemically with a taste receptor cell in the oral cavity. Umami. One of the 5 categories of taste in food, corresponding to the flavor of glutamates, I think that's how you pronounce that, especially monosodium glutamate. Taste. When consuming food, taste is typically the most influential sense. The taste buds in the mouth are arranged on the tongue but are also found in the palate and in the pharynx. The addition of saliva to food makes it possible to taste, and this sense is a combination of smell and taste, volatile and non-volatile compounds. Every human has between 9,000 and 10,000 taste buds, but they diminish over time. As humans age, they can still taste just fine, but may find themselves using far more seasonings on their foods. Through taste, humans can discern bitter, sour, sweet, salty, and umami, savory. Nutrition. Figure 1.2. The mouth of the human tongue. So the back is the bitter, sour, sweet in the front, salty right there at the tip. Feel.
That's weird.
Yep, I didn't know that. Texture. How foods feel to the hands as people handle them, and mouthfeel as they consume. It drive the way that humans select foods. While this sensation is unique for everyone, texture can affect the way the brain processes the taste and smell of a food. For example, if someone does not like the texture of a tomato, it may taste bad to them. However, the texture of a tomato paste, which is simply pureed tomato, may not bother them. And this taste is palatable. The consistency of food describes its firmness and or thickness and goes hand in hand with food texture. Flavor. Flavor is not a sensory tool used by humans, but a combination of taste, smell, and mouthfeel. This explains why a stuffy nose makes food taste very different than when the sinuses are clear. Flavor is a very important factor determining the success or failure of food items, processed and fresh, in the consumer marketplace. Flavor is heavily influenced by the amount of fat in the food. This explains why reduced fat or fat-free products do not taste quite the same as their full fat counterparts. However, the addition of other compounds like sugar or sweeteners to lower fat foods may make them taste sweeter. Functional foods. Foods for a specified health use are referred to as functional foods. Functional foods are those selected, produced, or consumed for reasons beyond calorie or nutrient content. The term was coined in Japan, where the functional food market is one of the most advanced in the world. Functional foods are derived into 4 categories: modified foods, conventional foods, medical foods, and special dietary foods. And for the terminology, mouthfeel. The physical sensations in the mouth caused by food or drink. Palatable. Pleasant to taste. That's what that means. Consistency. The firmness or thickness of food. Flavor. Flavor is a combination of taste, smell, and mouthfeel. Functional foods. Foods selected, produced, or consumed for reasons beyond calorie or nutrient content. For like people that need sugars and stuff or whatever. Modified foods. Modified foods are foods modified through enhancement, enrichment, or nutrient fortification. This can include calcium fortified juice, folate enriched breads, and beverages enhanced with energy promoting substances like caffeine and vitamin B complex. Conventional foods. Conventional foods are simple, unmodified whole foods like vegetables and fruits. These foods have been linked to reduce cancer and chronic disease risk, heart health, and urinary tract function. Examples include broccoli, tomatoes, and kale. Medical foods. Medical foods are defined as foods intended to be ingested under the supervision of a physician for specific dietary management of a disease or condition. Examples include canned or bottled supplements for the treatment of diabetes or liver disease. Special dietary foods. Special dietary foods are defined by the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act with 3 distinctions. Number 1, they support a dietary need from a physiological, physical, or pathological condition. Number 2, they supply vitamins, minerals, and or other ingredients with the intent of increasing intake. Number 3, they support a dietary need for being a sole item in a diet, lactose-free, gluten-free, or similar.
Lactose is milk, gluten is bread.
Correct. Terminology, modified foods. That means foods modified through enhancement, enrichment, or nutrient fortification. Then there's conventional foods. Conventional foods are simple, unmodified whole foods like vegetables and fruits. There's medical foods. Food intended to be ingested under the supervision of a physician for specific dietary management of a disease or condition. And then there's specialty dietary foods such as food supporting a condition, supplying vitamins or minerals to increase intake, or serving as a sole item in a diet. Culture, economics, and religion. There are several factors affecting a person's access to food, food selections, and the way they consume foods. These include cultural, economic, and religious considerations. Cultural considerations. Culture describes the ideas, customs, skills, and art of a group of people in a period of civilization. Many cultures exist, including American culture. The Papuan people of Papua New Guinea, the Gauchos of South America, and the San people of Botswana are also examples of many cultures around the world. In some cultures, food is prized, and in others, it is spurned. Whale blubber is a staple in Arctic areas, and dog is considered a delicacy in parts of Asia. Grubs are consumed for protein in Australia. Escargots, which are snails, are popular in France, and sushi is an Asian staple, becoming more popular across the globe. Figure 1.3, Sand Bushman of Mariental, Namibia. Ethnicity and place of birth. The ethnic origins of an individual and their place of birth will determine what foods they are exposed to. Nearly 25% of the American population are ethnic minorities or were born in another country before coming to the United States. The foods that are commonplace or influenced by their cultures have traveled to the United States with them, and foods like pizza, Thai, Moroccan, and Vietnamese cuisine are more common. Almost there.
Almost.
Figure 1.4, ethnic foods can be found in most cities. Louis, New York Pizza Parlor. Economic considerations. The availability of food can change based on the local economic status of a city or neighborhood. Many Americans live in food deserts, which are urban areas where fresh fruits, vegetables, and meats are not readily available. In these areas, consumers rely on processed foods from convenience stores and markets. The terminology, the word that you need to learn is food deserts.
Food deserts.
So it's like over here where you're in the city. urban areas where it is difficult to afford or find quality whole foods. Figure 1.5, markets are common but not everywhere. When fresh whole foods are available, they may be financially out of reach. The cost of fresh fruits is generally higher than the cost of processed, sugary foods, and individuals with income restrictions will often forego the healthy options for the less expensive, unhealthy ones. Government assistance programs are becoming more widely available to reduce the cost of whole foods and supply extra funds dedicated to groceries for individuals and families in need. Religious considerations. The religions of the world have also made their way to America and have spread to nearly every continent. The selection of foods and the way they are prepared can vary between religious groups. For example, Buddhists consider it uncompassionate to eat the flesh of another living creature, and in many, though not all, are vegetarians. Hindus do not believe in injuring or killing an animal for its meat. Cows are sacred in that culture. Thus, the devout Hindu diet rejects poultry, eggs, and meats. I did not know that. Figure 1.6, a Jewish holiday meal. The Mormon Church discourages parishioners from drinking coffee, alcohol, and tea. In the Orthodox Jewish faith, the consumption of kosher foods. Kosher foods include ruminant animals, which are sheep, cows, and goats.
Chickens, goose, fruits, and vegetables.
The allowed animals are considered kosher if their slaughter is supervised by a rabbi or authorized individual to ensure the blood is removed properly. Similarly, halal foods are permitted foods in Islam. Halal foods do not allow animal blood, improper slaughter, intoxicants, or decay. Holidays for religious groups like Passover, Ramadan, or Lent can affect the foods consumed or the frequency and timing of food consumption. Many religious holidays involve fasting or food restrictions during a set period. Key terms: kosher, which means foods fit for consumption per the requirements of Jewish law. Like on Orange is the New Black, that's why everyone wants to eat kosher, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Halal foods, which means foods deemed acceptable for consumption by Muslim law. I guess that's referring to like your possible clients. That's it.